Alright, today I'll be showing you my Lightsworn deck that I've been using of recently. It's a pretty good deck. Um, Alright, first we'll start with the Lightsworns, of course. We shouldn't have an S. We'll stick in 2 JDs, because the JD is the boss monster, of course. And you can't never go without the boss monster. Judgment Dragon. We'll add 3 Charge of Light Brigade. This is our starting and extender. Alright. You definitely need 3 Charge of Light Brigades, by the way. If you don't have 3 Charge of Light Brigades, you're gonna be really reaching it. Most people also, I would run 3 Radiants. Most people run like 2, but I run 3 because it's super good and you want to see it in your hand. This is your mill 2, and basically you pray. You pray you mill a monster or a wolf or a Ferris, which are the next 3. I run 3 wolves and 2 Ferris. These are essentially the extenders. Ferris, Lightsworn, Archer, and Wolf, the Lightsworn Beast. As well as Wolf and Ferris, you want to run 3 solo recharges. This is gonna be your draw 2 and your mill 2. Essentially also your extender. I wouldn't say this is your starting, because you want to have a better starting hand. But if you have solo recharge, it helps you refresh your hand by adding 2 cards into your hand. As well, I also run 2 Minerva, not Ferris. 2 Minerva. This is also used to extend by milling a card from the deck. Really important, because it allows you to be able to mill Fearless or Wolf, or any other cards you need. So let's add it to the extenders. Minerva, Lightsworn. However, you really don't want to see this in your hand, though. You really don't want to see this in your hand. It's like, oof. That really sucks if you see it in your hand. As well, we'll be running 2 Luminas. 2 Luminas is also extenders. They could also be your starter if you know a Lightsworn and you have Raiding in your hand, but it's more of an extender. You can use this to loop Luminas as well, which is extremely good. Looping Minervas. As well, you want to add Curious. I would say Curious is more of an extender, because if it's it's another mill 3, and you could mill like a Fearless or a Wolf from the deck. So yeah, I guess this is an extender, but you won't be using Curious all that much. Curious is just there sometimes for sometimes when you're using the monster. As well, you'll be using a Michael. Michael is there to I'll be real with you, to do a whole lot of nothing. It's really, you're using Michael just to banish 1 monster if you lacking management in the deck. And finally, the last Lightsworn monster in this deck will be Minerva, the Exalted Lightsworn. This is your extender. As well, if you get negated, you might as well go into or get max seed, you might as well go into Minerva, because of her destruction after being destroyed by opponents, monsters, or card effects, allows you to mill more cards, and for each Lightsworn monsters you mill, you're able to destroy a card on the field, which is really good, which is a really good effect. Alright, and now we have the Chaos engine for our monsters, for our Lightsworn deck. We'll be adding 2 Levineers, Chaos Dragon Levineers. These could be used as extenders as well as boss monsters. But for the case in point, we'll be using Chaos Levineer's Light Monster effect, which is if you're using only light monsters to mill, you special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in defense mode position. This is very good to like resummon like Lumina or Raiden if you build it last turn and you didn't have Lumina in your hand. Really, really good. You want 2 Chaos Dragon Levineers. I should have 2 Judgment Dragons, 1 Minerva, 1 Chaos Curious, 2 Luminas, 2 Minervas, 3 Solar Recharges, 3 Wolves, 2 Fearless, 3 Charger Light Brigade, 3 let's not put that here because Charger Light Brigade is more of a extender starter. I guess we know. Alright. We will also be needing a Chaos Dragon Emperor. Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. This is a boss monster. It's basically there to I guess you could like use this card, his pendulum effect, to be able to bring back you can pay 1,000, target one of your banished dragon monsters, destroy this card, and then you can add that monster to your hand. But it's really not used a whole lot for anything. You might as well just have in your deck, really. You as well want 2 Chaos Creators. This is your extender. Allows you to reborn a monster from the banishment zone that is like able to be special summoned, and then placing the other cards to the bottom of the deck, which is really good. You want 2 of these. You want 3 Chaos Valkyria. This could be your this is basically there, but it's really good. I'll say it's part of your I'll say this is your extenders, because you'll be able to banish Valkyria as well. You could banish this from the graveyard, and you could like drop any monster from the deck to the grave, but it won't be activatable. But it's still really good. Alright. We want 3 Chaos Spaces. This is an excellent card, but mostly used as an extender in this deck, really. You're not using this to start anything. Really just to like You'd rather have this in your graveyard, really. It's basically just so you draw one. But it's really good nonetheless. It's really, really good. And finally, you want your Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler, the Magical Dragon, I think it's called. Yes, Chaos Ruler, the Magical Dragon. This is your boss monster as well as your starter. But it's more of a starter because you really need this to mill 5 cards from the deck, which is really, really good. As well, it could be reborn from the graveyard by banishing 1 light monster and 1 dark monster as well. Which you will have plenty in this deck. You will definitely have plenty of light monsters in this deck. Let's see. You will also. Guess we should just fill out the rest of this deck. You will want 1 of White Dragon Vibrant Buster. Burster, not Buster. It's Burster. One of the Black Dragon Cola Serpent. These are not starters, but they're more of extenders. You still really need them though. They're really good. As well, you want Star Leash Salfor. This is basically your recovery, but it also could be used as your extender as well. It's decent, but you'd rather have this card in your grave anyways, not in your hand. If it's in your hand, then it pretty much feels bad. As well, you want the Performer Mage engine. You want 1 of each. Performer Mage Damage Juggler, Performer Mage Trick Clown, and Performer Mage Hat Tricker. So the Performer Mage Hat Tricker times 1, Performer Mage Trick Clown 1, and Performer Mage Damage Juggler at 1. Let's see. You also want Fairy Tale Snow. Don't forget about that. That's really good. This is basically your I would say it's a boss monster, but it's not. But like, it's still really good. It could be used your extender. It could be used like stopping your opponent's plays because of its changing to face down position. It's really, really good. As well as it uses like your useless spells that you don't use anymore, like Charge of Light Brigade and Solar Recharge after it goes to the grave. So yeah, it's really good. As well, you want to have Monster Reborn. Even though you mill it to the grave, now that you have Fairy Tale Snow, you could use this as fodder for your banishment. You want Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is used to throw Wolf or Fairy Tale if you're really desperate. But I think you'd rather throw a Wolf into the graveyard instead. It's really, really good. And as well, you want Reinforcement to search Raiden. You want reinforcements to search Raiden, which is I would say is your starter as well. It could be your starter because you really do need Raiden. But it's basically your searching card. As well, you want 2 reasonings. You could run 3 or 1. It doesn't really matter, but you want to run reasoning because it mills more monsters to the graveyard. And it could proc Wolf, which is really good. I would say this is your starter because sometimes you brick really hard and you really want monsters in your graveyard. And sometimes like your opponents do not know what you're playing, so they might not pick 4. So yeah, you want 2. In my deck, personally, I'm running 2, but you can run 1 or 3. And finally, the negates. We will be running 2 Ash Blossoms, which are really necessary for this deck. As well as we'll be running 2 Call by the Graves. You really need two Call by the Graves. The 2 Call by the Graves are really good because it stops your opponent from like activating Ash or Maxi. It's really good card. Anyways, that fills out the the main deck. Now we're gonna be using the extra deck. We'll be adding 1 FA Dragster, Dawn Dragster. This will be also a negate. It'll be our spell and trap negate. As well as a number 38 Hope Harbinger. Hope Harbinger is not really required, but so I like to run it. In this deck, I'll be also running number 90, but you could run something else besides number 90. Number 90 is also negate. It's there for a monster negate or when you don't have Photon Hope Harbinger Dragon on the field anymore. Number 90 is a monster negate. As well, you want to add a Barrel Load Savage Dragon. Barrel Load Savage Dragon. This is one of your best Omni negates that you'll be able to run. You want this to be your second negate on the field. Hopefully, if you're able to like go into it, because usually in this deck you're gonna be bricking a lot. As well, we'll be running Appaloosa, the Bow of the Goddess. This is your main negate. It'll be the first monster you'll be summoning in your end board. You really want this on your field. It could be like 3 to 4 negates depending on how many negates you want Appaloosa to have. As well as you want an Axis Code Talker. This will be your boss monster. This will be used to clear your opponent's board. You really want this on the field. And when you're at turn 2 or turn 3 when you stopped your opponent from playing the game. As well, you want the Nightmare engine, which is Nightmare Unicorn and um, Nightmare Phoenix. Which I guess I'll put this in the boss monster area. Because usually this would be your push to win. Like these cards will be on the field when you're pushing to win, or like pushing to like destroy your opponent's board. As well as you want one Zeus, because sometimes after you still have an XYZ on the field, you might as well just go into Zeus, you know, because Zeus is super broken. And you really want it on the field when you finish battling with XZ monsters. It's really good. You want IP, because this is very good. This is more of a extender. IP will allow you to disrupt your opponent during their turn, which is really good. And finally, you want one Crystron, which is also an extender. Crystron Halifax. It allows you to summon a tuner, level 3 or lower tuner from the deck. This is exactly what you want when you're going for longer plays, really, and throwing more monster on the graveyard for fodder for Fairy Tail Snow. So yeah, this is basically my deck. It's a really decent deck. I haven't seen anyone in the ladder use like a Lightsworn version of this besides like pure Lightsworns. I wouldn't say it's good because it bricks a lot. Other than that, I would definitely recommend like using Dragon Links or like the Rocket engine with this because it makes it more consistent. But I really like this deck a lot. This is like what I've been using in like all my replays of recent. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening to my rambling about how I made this deck and what it consists of.